Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Good afternoon, well, actually, good morning. It's not even afternoon, actually. It's not even afternoon yet. It's been early. It's morning. It's late morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to Kranky Live, Balanced Views, Enough Football. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. The Premier League season has kicked off to an interesting start. Number of games played yesterday. Well, we saw it on Friday. The defending champions Arsenal playing against Coventry and putting them away in style. Weren't too stressed. And then we had about 5 games yesterday, which I'll go through quickly. And then today we had a couple of games. Well, we have 3 games today. 2 already played. And 1, which is upcoming, which we're going to be doing a watch-along of, which is the Liverpool versus Newcastle. Or I should say Newcastle versus Liverpool, since Newcastle is playing at home. And by the way, people, as you come in, hit the like button. Because we know people come into the chat and support the channel. We appreciate you. Now, let's go through yesterday's game quickly because there were some upsets. I'm not sure I had any winner yesterday. I'm in this pool with my friends in England, and I'm not sure I had any winners. I sort of picked favorites. So here's a list of the games that's played yesterday. Hull City, newly promoted team, played Man U. Where is Drew Ross? Drew Ross here in the chat, Drew Ross? Because I know this thing with Man U fans, they just disappear. They don't even turn up when things don't go well. First game of the season, Michael Carrick supposed to be leading his team to the promised land this year. They've made some purchases, not the biggest buys and the most well-known buys, but they've made some purchases. And you would expect them with the Tillsman, Bruno, Menu, Cunha, and Boemo, Sesko, all these players of note would allow them to get by a promotion team, a team that barely won the playoffs and got promoted. Frankly, probably shouldn't have, given how they played, but they were good defensively. And Hull played Man U and scored off 2 set pieces, but Man U couldn't penetrate them. Didn't get a lot of chances, and Hull came out on top. And then we also had Everton played Crystal Palace. An interesting game. I think Crystal Palace should have been up 2. Mateta, who is advocating to leave the club, probably should leave because I'm telling you, he's a decent forward, but he missed the easiest of chances. And then we had Ipswich playing against Sunderland. Sunderland, who did really well last season, came about 8th. Are going to be playing in Europe. Really good team. Spent a lot of money last year, over 100 mil, which is a lot for a newly promoted team. But that turnover by Ipswich yesterday will beat them 2-1. Ipswich, who keeps coming up and going down because they're not spending a lot of money when they come up. Very prudent in terms of how they manage their finances. Find ways to come back up, make some money, and go back down. They'll have those payments that come to them because they're in the Premier League. So it allows them to replenish their squads and to do well. And then we had Nottingham Forest, who lost the Leeds. And Nottingham Forest owner doesn't play. They lose too many games early. That coach who came over from Crystal Palace is gone. And then we had Brentford spanking Tottenham, was spent over 200 million and still spending. Bought Savinho. scored one goal in the Premier League last year for 80 plus mil. Can't make it up. So that was yesterday. So now we'll go to today. And earlier today, we just had 2 games completed. We had Aston Villa, who has lost their entire midfield in terms of Guimaraes, Tonali, and Joe Linton seem to be out injured. He's now their vice captain. And they also lost Gordon. Sorry, I'm confused with the team. Villa, who lost Anana to a ACL injury. They lost Tillsman to Man U, and they lost Rodgers to Chelsea. I apologize for mixing up Newcastle and Villa. So they lost all those 3 players in their midfield, and then they lost Konsa, who's now at Arsenal. So they lost the core of their team, and Ollie Watkins is advocating to go to Saudi. Their team has been decimated, but I watched them play against PSG when the Europa winner played against the Champions League, and they should have beaten PSG. So I'm very shocked when they played Bournemouth today. They were down 4-0 in the first 30-plus minutes. Then Bournemouth, down to Brighton. They were down 4-0 to Brighton the first 30-plus minutes. Then the midfielder, who they just bought from Wolves, got a red card, the Brazilian. And so they were down 4-0 before 40 minutes with 10 men. They did well second half. They held on to lose 4-0, but a lot of problems for Emery. And then we had today, same time, Man City against Bournemouth. Bournemouth up 1-0. And Man City, like they do regularly, show their true class, coming back to score 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, 1 in extra time, to beat Bournemouth by 2-1. So Man City after opening start. And by the way, bless up Wayne, how you doing? And by the way, we did play Man City in the Community Shield preseason game, and did give them a spanking. So we see what happened in the regular season. And now we have today Liverpool playing against Newcastle. Now let's go through the lineup for both teams. The Newcastle team, we have Ornacek, and their team have changed. New goalkeeper, they brought him in to replace Pope. D-Deck is also new in the defense. Thiaw, Botman, Hall, who Man U's been pursuing but hasn't left yet. Miley, who played a lot of right back last year as an emergency right back because Livramento was always injured. You have Steer, who came in new. Barnes been there. Elanga, who had a good World Cup. Osula, who came on late last year and played really well. And then we have Wissa, who had a tough season, had a knee injury, did play in the World Cup. Probably should have scored against England, and Congo would have beaten England, frankly, in that game when he hit the post. But Wissa is a good player, played brilliant for Brentford the year before he went to Newcastle. Injury derailed his season last year. Also wasn't very clinical. And he's not going to play in the 10. So they're very light in the midfield because Joey Linton is injured. Ramsey's on the bench. Willock is on the bench. But if you look at their team, Miley and Steer, who came over from Holland, in the midfield with Wissa. Wissa is not a midfielder. So they're really playing 2 forward. They usually use Watermata in the playing like the 10, but it's a hybrid, 2 forwards up front. So they're sticking with the same team that same concept in terms of the lineup that the manager who they lost. So should I mention how left actually. So they lost their manager. They lost their midfield, and they lost one of their wingers. And these are key players for them. And then we go to Liverpool, who are going through a transition. Can't believe they spent $450 million last year, and don't look any better than they were. Right? They lost Salah, who didn't have a good year last year, but was brilliant the year before. So you have Alisson goal, Frimpong in the right back position, Jacket, who is new, and Van Dijk in the middle, and Kirkes, who had a tough year last year, but replaced Roberts, who's now at Spurs, playing on the left. And then you have Szoboszlai, Gravenberg, and Wirtz in the middle, which I find interesting. And then we have Gakpo and Gomoha, the young 18-year-old is really good, and Isak. And then on the bench for Liverpool, and the bench is light, you have the goalkeeper, Mamadashvili, Simicas Arroyo, who came over from Barcelona, Endo, McAllister, Neoni, McConnell, Munoz, and Kuma. So not the most well-renowned bench, actually. So interesting team. I hear Way saying, don't forget about the under-14 final. What time is that game? Jamaica under-14 playing against Haiti today. All right, is it Haiti today? It should be an interesting matchup. Jamaica barely scraping through, beating Bermuda 1-0 and beating. I'd expect us to walk over the Bermudas, the Cayman Island, all those countries we're struggling with. Under 14. I thought people tell us under 14 team were as good as any teams in the world, and it's only when we get to a certain age of 16, 17, the differentiation and the width get widened. So a little bit surprised, but they're in the finals, so hopefully they win. As I've always said, I don't focus on the Caribbean. I focus when we get to CONCACAF. And by the way, I'm going to do a show maybe tomorrow on. There have been some discussion around a merger. I'm gonna call it a merger of Nations League between CONCACAF and UEFA. And that should be interesting. I wonder if this is a strategy to try to get out Infantino from FIFA, but we'll see. But we'll talk about it, because if that does materialize, Jamaica has some benefits and some detriments resulting from that. But this should be a good game. I'm looking forward to the game. The expectation is that Liverpool should win, given all the turmoil at Newcastle. But that may not be the case. You never know. You will never know. You never know. Newcastle team, I think their midfield is light. Steer, who's a new player. Miley, who is pretty good but new. And Wissa playing at 10, but he's not a real 10. If you notice, the teams that do well, and you just saw it with City, with City just playing against Bournemouth, Cherky changed the game. Cherky had 2 assists, he changed the game. That's what he does. You need that ingenuity in the middle of the park, and you need stability in the middle of the park. You need robust people who can defend and help protect your defense, but create going the other way. And sometimes that doesn't materialize accordingly. So, looking forward to today's game. The game is starting in about 8 minutes. I expect that Newcastle will try to exploit the wings actually, between Barnes and Elanga. But you're playing almost 4-2-4 in contemporary football. It makes it tough on your defense. Very, very tough on the defense. Now, I'll say this, which is City I wouldn't say they got lucky. They won the game, so it's not luck. But if you think about the competition in terms of who's going to win the Premier League this year, the teams to me that look good on paper are Arsenal, Chelsea, to a lesser extent City, and I say to a lesser extent because they've lost like Rodri and Bernardo Silva. And their manager has been deemed to be probably the best manager ever in football, or one of them. So they've had some losses. But you expect Spurs, with all their spending, and Liverpool, with their pedigree and how much they spent last year, to be up there. But just on paper, you don't see that. And people seem to underestimate what Salah brought to the table at Liverpool, especially when they won the title. I mean, he was scoring like a center forward, not like a winger. So losing that is a big deal, because Gakpo and Ngamoa are not that proficient in front of goal and don't have that resume. So it'll be interesting to see what materializes. So who are you picking for today's game? Those in the chat. Who are you picking to win the game? Liverpool or Newcastle? Who are you picking to win? I think this should be a good game. I expect Newcastle to play better than what many expect, even though they have sort of lost their, what I'm going to call their stomach, which is Guimaraes and Tonali, who were key for them last year. Guimaraes had some injuries, but those were key last year. and you'd expect the loss of those two to materially affect them. And they're not playing Ramsey or Willock. Ramsey started a number of games last year, especially when Guimaraes was out. And Willock was probably one of the first persons off the bench. A little bit surprised that the midfield is like this. Bless up Peter. Peter says 3-0. It's a big score, Peter. And I think what Liverpool fans are looking forward to is, by the way, people, please hit the like button. Trying to get more people to come watch the channel. Is how will Isak do? He had a decent World Cup. He's playing more out wide. He's now in the middle. Ekitike is out, so he doesn't have any competition in the centre forward spot. Liverpool has been negotiating all season on with PSG for Barcola. And PSG quotes some ridiculous price, of 140 plus mil for a player who's not a regular starter or shares times with Doué. That doesn't make any sense to me. But that's the story. Game is start in a few minutes. Newcastle playing at home. Always give Liverpool a tough game, but that's when they had their full contingent of players and they weren't decimated by sales. They raised a lot of money between Tonali 100 and Guimaraes 75 and 75 for Gordon. But you can't replace that quality with these young players. I think of the 6 players they bought, they all, average age is under 21 or 21 or something like that. So very young players, but obviously they have some quality as they wouldn't acquire them. And I'm not surprised they got rid of Pope as their goalkeeper because he was horrible with his feet. Decent shot stopper, but he was horrible with his feet. In today's football, you have to be able to play out from the back. You just have to. Liverpool, on the other hand, McAllister is on the bench at a tough World Cup final with Argentina. They got decimated by Spain, and they didn't behave well, and they got fined by FIFA over $300,000, along with some player like Paredes getting banned for 10 games. So didn't behave well when they lost. I mean, you should lose with dignity. So that wasn't good. But this should be a good game. So the season started off well. Like the upsets, except when it's my team. I thought City would probably draw the game today. They were the better team. They had more possession. They played Margay in midfield, so you know they have to go buy a couple of midfielders. Now they're trying to get Boadi, and a lot of discussion was about Fernandes from Chelsea. I'm not sure that's going to materialize. But losing Rodri and Bernardo Silva were huge for them. I don't think Anderson is a Rodri like-for-like replacement at all. I think there's only one Rodri in football today, actually. I'm not sure anybody's close, to be honest. He just controls the game. He's not the quickest. He's not the fastest. He's big. But yeah, he's a brilliant footballer. Looking forward to this game today and how Liverpool comes out. And Gomoa has a lot of potential. But he's now on the right. I think he prefers to play on the left. I think, and when they buy Barcola, because Gakpo has been in the news all year about being sold, and that hasn't happened. Oh, by the way, for those who are Arsenal fans, I think the news came out just from David Ornstein that Al Hilal from Saudi Arabia is looking to buy Martinelli for about £60 million. Can somebody explain to me how Martinelli is supposed to be valued at between 40 and 60, and Savinho is being sold for 80 plus? Like Savinho, he's a good footballer, but he's done nothing in Premier League for 2 years. He didn't get a lot of time last year. He only scored 1 goal last year. How is he being sold for 80 plus million? Or is Tottenham just buying to buy sake? We have, Martinelli only scored 1 goal in the Premier League last year. I think he scored about 7 or 8 in the Champions League. And scored big goals too. Scored big goal against City, scored big goals in Champions League. I do think Martinelli's played out of position. I think he's a centre forward. I don't think he's a winger. I think the decision-making gets him messed up on the wing. I think he should be a centre forward. But if Arsenal can sell him, get some money in, use that money to go get Alvarez, then we'd be in a really good spot if we can get Alvarez. Players are lined up on the center circle. I think they may be giving tribute to Kevin Keegan, who was a brilliant footballer for England, who passed away. I assume that's what it is, and played for Liverpool also. I think, didn't Keegan win the Ballon d'Or? I'm almost sure that he did at one point, or what the equivalent was. It's a sold-out Newcastle stadium. That stadium is massive, and it is packed to the rafters. I'm sure Newcastle fans have some trepidation about their team this year, given all the turnover. Eddie Howe gone, Guimaraes gone, Isak went last year, Gordon gone, Tonali gone. At the same time, they're probably optimistic that the new players who were acquired can try to fill those shoes. So we'll see what materializes. If you're in the chat, people, just touch the like button. It's not going to hurt you. I'm curious to see how Wissa plays, actually. I like Wissa. He was very good at Brentford, linking up with Mboimo, who was down at Man U. And what can you say about Brentford people? I'm going to say this, which is, sometimes you have to do your homework to buy players. Real good scouting can get you good players. And if Brighton can do it, if Bowman can do it, then the big teams can do it. The big teams seem to go for the big name players sometimes who don't materialize. Like going for Savino for 80 million. You can go get somebody like Solis for 1/3 the price, and it's going to just be as effective. You look at Ryan for Bournemouth. You look at Solis for Arsenal. Still early. There are a number of players you see come in who don't have a big name and have done brilliantly. Sangari yesterday for Bournemouth. Very, very good player. Played in France, was in the France team of the League One team of the year. Those are the players you need to go for, who have proven themselves in one of the top 5 leagues, and at the same time don't cost an arm and a leg. But going for the Barcolas of the world, who are very good players, but still raw in a lot of areas, may not be the answer. Game is getting ready to commence. Let's see how Liverpool does today. Like people in the chat, I'm stingy with no likes, Lord. Hold on for the likes. Like your life depends on it. And we are off. Liverpool turns it over. Koala trying to go forward and handball against Liverpool. Free kick to Newcastle. I think Newcastle will give Liverpool a run for their money today. I think players like Osula, who came into his own late last year, is a handful. Quick, physical, good technical ability. I think he's going to give him a tough time today. Hall with the free kick, going up top. Headed over, collected by Allison. Liverpool trying to play through Newcastle. Here comes Gakpo. He has Kirk as wide. He decided to go inside. Plays to Szoboszlai, who shoots. Blocked. Barnes picked it up. Trying to find Osula out wide. Jacket plays out for a throwing to Newcastle. Jacket is young, but physically imposing. And let's see if Van Dijk has lost a step like people are saying he has. And Areola is the new coach for Liverpool. He plays a very attacking style of football, presses, almost Klopp-like. So we'll see how that works out with this team. Ball against Liverpool at the halfway line. Free kick to Newcastle. And the new coach, Matthias Jessel, is that his name? Who coached in Germany and also coached in the Middle East. Is Newcastle replaces Eddie Howe. Newcastle trying to go over the top. Ball headed out by Jacket. Picked up by Szoboszlai, trying to go wide to Isak. Isak dispossessed by Hall. Hall trying to go over the top. Not trying who's trying to find. It's an aimless pass. We're in the 4th minute of play. Score tied at 0. Here comes Gravenberg, turns brilliantly, looking to shoot, plays it wide, turns it over. Ball not picked up by Newcastle coming forward. Osula coming forward. He has numbers. He plays it into Elanga. Elanga is through on goal. Shoot, goal! Newcastle! Goal! Newcastle! Brilliant, brilliant counter. Brilliant, brilliant counter attack by Newcastle. Unbelievable counter attack by Newcastle. 1-0 to the Castle. Something's wrong with my screen. Osula with a brilliant pass to Elanga. Kirkes can't keep up and he went far post and Allison had no chance. I don't know what happened to my screen. It's not putting my goal up. All right, I have to change this out then. Wrong one. 1-0 to Newcastle. Something is wrong with my screen. Not sure what happened. Elanga had a brilliant World Cup, actually. So, I say he had a good World Cup, brilliant World Cup. He was threatening, he was quick, he was running by people. Bless up, Nitro, how you doing? And he's done it again. The one thing about their forward line, Barnes, Osula, Wissa, and Elanga, if they can keep their composure, they are quick. They're going to give any team trouble on the counter. If they can protect the middle of the park, which is going to be challenging for them, they are really, really quick. Really, really quick. So 1-0 to Newcastle. Liverpool done already. Cross by Liverpool. Ball's out. Elanga boots it upfield. Foul against Newcastle, free kick to Liverpool. It's not a good foul by Newcastle at all. One nothing to Newcastle very early. We're only in the 8 minutes of play. Free kick to Liverpool to be taken by Watchalong. It's a really good free kick, headed over the bar. Looks like that's Van Dijk. Nine minutes in, Liverpool down by 1-0. Early. I don't mind Liverpool losing. Actually, I'll be honest. Don't mind Liverpool losing. So it's 1-0 to Newcastle. And here comes Elanga against Kirkus again. Puts him out the way. He pulls him down. Should be a foul against Elanga. It is. 10 minutes in, Newcastle leading by 1-0. Game is getting physical. Very physical. Here comes Wissa foul. Free kick to Newcastle. We're 11 minutes in. Barnes trying to play Hall in. This is going to be a trap meet. And I'm not sure Newcastle's going to win this trap meet. Newcastle have so much speed. Between Hall, Elanga, Barnes, brilliant pull by Newcastle trying to get in. Barnes, Hall, goes all the way back. The Botman goes all the way back to his keeper, Hornacek, who's new. It's his first league game for Newcastle. Liverpool trying to press, but the press is not well coordinated. And I think here, problem again. Here comes Alisson, plays the ball out, and missed kick by Wissa, no composure. If he just controlled the ball, he can put in the goal and it's a goal. That's what Wissa lacks, composure. Really lacks composure. He lacks composure. He came out, had the ball. All Wissa had to do was control the ball, try to get rid of Gravenberg and put in the net, because Alisson's out. He's in no man's land. And Wissa has no left foot, so I'm not sure why he's trying to score with his left foot. That should have been 2-0. Liverpool coming forward. Jacket plays it into Isak was very deep. I'm just watching the goal again with a solo coming forward. And look how far Elanga came back for. Kranky has had no chance. Elanga has track speed. Do you guys know who's been clocked as the fastest player in the Premier League? Curious if people have looked into that. And there's some quick people in the Premier League. Here comes Liverpool. It's Frimpong, who's very, very quick. He's trying to go outside wide and turns it over, and here comes Newcastle. They're looking to run, trying to go wide to Elanga, who will not get to it. Throw into Newcastle. We're in the 14th minute of play. Newcastle leading Liverpool by 1-0. Goal scored by Elanga off an assist by Osula. As I said before, the inception of the show is a quality player. Young, but has shown quality today. Foul against no, thought it was a foul. Referee didn't call a foul. Liverpool trying to come forward. Good play by Mali to win that ball and plays it off to Hall. Shearer is coming forward. He's trying to go over the top to try and find Elanga again. That didn't work this time. Games played earlier today. Brighton beat Villa by 4-0. Villa had a man sent off. And City beat Bournemouth by 2-1. I can say Liverpool, Newcastle is throwing themselves in the tackles. Really making Liverpool work. Newcastle in possession, trying to come forward. Game has not had that fluidity you expect to it, but it's early in the season, so that shouldn't be shocking. And Newcastle playing with confidence. They've always given Liverpool a hard time, so it shouldn't be shocking, even though they have changed personnel quite a bit. Liverpool bad turnover there by Newcastle. Here comes Liverpool on the counter. Good defending by Newcastle. Van Dijk out wide to Wirtz. Now, to me, I think they forced him in the team, to be honest. I know last year was his first year in the league, but he came from Germany with big reputation. Hasn't lived up to it. Here comes Gravenberg, plays it wide to Ngamoa. Against Hall 1-on-1, trying to go down the line, crosses to the far post, good cross. Ball over the head of Isak, he picks it up. Dancing, prancing, trying to go by two men. Elanga chasing him. Ball crossing by Kirkes, not the best cross. Brilliant shot good save by Harnasek. Not sure who took that shot. Isak played the ball down to Kirkes. He crossed the ball into the box with a poor cross. Poor clearance by Newcastle. Shot taken, that got to be, I'm not sure who took that shot. That was worse actually. And brilliant save by Arnisek. That's why they bought him. Corner in, headed by Liverpool, shot by Kirkes over the bar. Goal kick to Newcastle. 18 minutes in, Newcastle leading by 1-0. And I think both teams are trying to play good, attractive football, trying to play quickly. Newcastle looking to play transition football and counter-attacking football. And Liverpool will do the same, but they're trying to press and do not give Newcastle a rest. They're the better ball possession team, but Newcastle's speed is scary. Here comes Newcastle. Ball play all the way back to Arnisek, who looked like he's decent with his feet, which is very important in contemporary football. Newcastle Ilanga inside. Ball plays all the way back to, this looks like Batman. He goes back to the keeper. Hall try a cute pass around the corner. That didn't work. But good defending by Newcastle. Both teams are pressing. And they're playing fast and furious. It's like a heavyweight fight. Ariola's football is you press hard when you lose the ball. And then on offense, you try to transition quickly to go at the opposition. You rest on offense and you give it the energy out on defense. Newcastle seem to have a lot of legs. Young players in the midfield and up front, but with enough experience to be dangerous. Throw in to Newcastle 20 minutes in. Newcastle leading by 1-0. Here comes Wissa. Fouled. He fouled on free kick against Wissa. He's been fouling a bit in this game. I see Shaka Hislop in the crowd. Did Shaka play for Newcastle? I think he probably did, actually. Shaka was a decent goalkeeper. Played for Trinidad, obviously. Here comes Kirkes trying to cross. Ball played up by Hornacek. Liverpool getting down the left side of the field quite a bit, actually. A lot of penetration on the left side, whether it's Kirkes or Isak or Gakpo. Newcastle has to probably try to provide some help on that side of the field. And that's why they may struggle, because the midfielders, they're only playing with two midfielders because Wissa is playing like a second forward. Ball cleared out by Newcastle. And Newcastle is playing the ball up, and here comes Wissa. He goes all the way back to Tao. Tao plays it across field. Newcastle got to be careful. They can fall into that trap where a trap is set for them defensively by Liverpool to take the ball off the player, the defender in the middle of the park, or the midfielder. Ball played wide. Brilliant ball out wide. Here comes Newcastle in the box looking to shoot. Shot blocked out of bounds. Corner to Newcastle. And that was Didek, who was playing on the right. A lot of room over there. Kirkes was nowhere close to him. Neither was Gakpo. Liverpool is not the greatest as it comes to defending set pieces. They're very good at scoring from set pieces, especially Van Dijk. And Gamal is having a tough time with Hall today. Corner by Newcastle, headed out by Liverpool. Ball played wide out to Barnes. Trying to go by Frimpong. Good pressure by Frimpong. Bad turnover by Newcastle, but also another bad turnover by Liverpool. Both teams turning the ball over uncharacteristically this early in the game. They have legs. They shouldn't be tired. Should be any tired passes. Game is very physical, though. Very physical. Very physical. Isak is down. Referee says play on. It's part of the game. And Isak is complaining to the referee, but here comes Wissa. Get by his man nicely. Trying to play it into Osola. Osola is in. Tripped up. Oh, ball out of bounds. That was close. Brilliant pass by Issa. Osola got there. Alisson came out. Couldn't get around Alisson. That's a brilliant pass by Wissa. Turned brilliantly. Got rid of Gravenberg. Played in the line. He got by Jacket. I think Jacket got a toe on the ball or something to get away from Osula. Yeah, he towed it. Almost towed it into his own goal. And that's why Wissa can be dangerous. If you have room and space to run at you, he's very, very quick. The entire forward line is quick. Yeah, figured out Walter Mata is very, very slow, but very, very technical. I think they paid about 70 million for him last year. Wissa is ridiculously quick. So now he's healthy. He may add a lot of value in the middle of the park. Rhythm play by Liverpool. Ball by Wissa. He maybe get a yellow card. On Sabasla, yep, it's a yellow card. Not very smart. He grabbed him. He didn't need to grab him. So Wissa is now playing with a caution. And so Sabasla can be dangerous from anywhere 40 yards and in. Remember Arsenal last year when he put it in the corner? He scored more one of those last year. I forgot the other team he scored against, but and they beat Arsenal 1-0 at Liverpool. And he scored a screamer from about 40 yards. Gave Ryan no chance. This one is on the right side, so maybe more difficult for him to score from this side of the field. But it's probably right in his wheelhouse in terms of the distance. He can get it up and over the wall with the space he had between where the ball is placed and where the wall resides. Let's see if he goes to goal or try to play it wide. He's going to go to goal. Play the ball right in the wall, blocked. He's making a mess of it. Turns it over. Hall plays out to Osula, who's running at his man Jacket one-on-one. He doesn't have any help. He plays it out to Elanga or to Barnes. Ball out of bounds off Barnes. Good hold up by Osula. Until he got some help, and he looked like he's got a knock. We picked that up when in the previous play. He's trying to get by Alisson. He's limping quite a bit. Here comes Liverpool. They have room. They have space. Yeah, they have numbers. It's 2 against 2. Gakpo has it, cuts inside, looking to shoot. Good block by Newcastle. Here comes Liverpool again. When Liverpool gets the ball in open space, the middle is wide open. There's no cover for Newcastle. That's where experience needs to come into play. You have lack of experience about how to ensure when you attack that you're defending really well. Here comes Frimpong. Barnes trying to play that to Osula. Turns it over. I think Osula should stay on the halfway line. Force Van Dijk and Jacket to be deeper. And give his side some room when they win the ball to play the ball up to him. He's too deep. If you're on the halfway line, those two defenders have to go back because they can't afford to have him one-on-one against either of them. Here comes Gakpo going against Didic, turns him inside, but turns it over. Picked up by Langa, trying to go upfield, turns it over again. Here comes Liverpool again. 27 minutes in, Newcastle leading by 1-0. And Gamara 1-1 against Hall. He's had a tough time with Hall. Almost got by him and then turns it over. He's had a tough game. Foul against Miley. Miley's a very good player. And they only have two midfielders, basically, even though Wissa is doing his best in the middle of the park. See Walter Mata warming up. Ursula may have to come off the field because of injury. I assume that's why he's warming up. Here comes Liverpool. They have numbers. Kirkes has Gakpo wide, looking to shoot. Ambitious shot by Kirkes, way out, probably 30 yards out. And trying to beat the goalkeeper at the near post. That wasn't going to work. Liverpool forcing Newcastle to go long. And they're doing a halfway decent job of doing so. Trying to get the ball upfield to Elanga. And so yellow card against Kirkes. That's dangerous for Liverpool. Because given Elanga's speed, you can see this being a tough battle for him all day. And if you're on a yellow card, you got to play more safe. You got to play more conservative. You're going to be more restricted. That's not a good thing for Kirkes. And if I was Newcastle, I'd feed Elanga. Because any bad tackle by Kirkes and he's gone. Here comes Barnes. He has room. He has space. Trying to shield off his man. He's tripped up. Should be a foul against Jacket. And he's got a yellow card. The referee's dishing out these yellow cards. No, that was against Frimpong, sorry, not Jacket. And Van Dijk trying to argue his case, but Frimpong was holding. Barnes was holding also, but it was not obvious. I'm not sure that was a yellow card. That's two players fighting for the ball. So both the right and left back for Liverpool are on yellow cards. I can't be good playing against speedy wingers. We're in the 30th minute. Newcastle up by 1-0. So Osula is over the ball, and so is Hall. Let's see what happens. Like Osula is going to take it. He's lining up. And he boots it in the wall, looking to shoot again. Left foot, out of bounds, corner to Newcastle. He's limping badly. Not sure why he decided to take the kick. He's limping that badly. 1 to Haitian, 28 minute. I am not surprised. If we're struggling against Cayman Islands and Curaçao's team, I would expect to beat Haiti. I'm not seeing the game, but I'm not surprised. That's the under-14 competition, by the way, in the Caribbean. Corner to Newcastle. Hall with the corner. Ball headed out by Liverpool. Back to Hall. Trying to go down the wing. And turns it over. And here comes and Liverpool is charging out. Hesitation there. And they have numbers. Ball played behind him. Gamoa picks it up. Frimpong, sorry, trying to cross. Poor cross by Frimpong. And here comes Newcastle. It's Wissa trying to go through the middle. Plays it off to Barnes. Barnes back to Wissa. Wissa goes all the way back to center half. Botman, who comes back to Shear. Is that Shear or Barnes? Can you make them out? And he plays it out of bounds for a throw, and you can't make that up. That's our horrible pass by Shear, actually. Put his side under pressure. Unnecessary pressure. Ball out of bounds, goal kick to Newcastle. Throw-in was taken. Not sure what Wirtz was doing, but it's out of bounds to Newcastle. We're in the 33rd minute. 32nd minute. Newcastle playing out from the back just can be dangerous. I think they should give up on that, actually. That's not smart. Not when you're leading 1-0. Don't take any risk. Hall just turned over. So they just turned the ball over twice unnecessarily. Liverpool is really pressing. Here comes foul against Gravenberg and yellow card. Who's that yellow card for? That was against Miley. That's not good. So Wissa has a yellow card, Miley has a yellow card, and for Liverpool, Kirkes and Frimpong have yellow cards. Free kick taken by Szoboszlai, headed up by Newcastle. The Kirkes, in pressure by Langa. Good, by Wissa. Good play by Wissa. Got the ball off Kirkes, but throw into Newcastle. AT's always confident on the ball. Always. Here comes Wissa. He has Barnes wide. And he's fouled, and he's asking the referee for a yellow card against Szoboszlai. He's not getting it. He's down, slow getting up. Brilliant ball to Osula. Looked like Botman. Still trying to get around Van Dijk, but Van Dijk just easily dispossess him and just take it away. Osula needs to sit down on that ball a while ago. It's bad forward play. Jacket coming forward. Yes, Frimpong out wide. Yes, Szoboszlai inside. Probably go to Szoboszlai, which he does. Goes back to Jacket. And goes back to Szoboszlai. 35th minute of play. Score Newcastle 1. Goal scored by Langa. But feed by Osula. And Gamoa trying to get on the wing. Crosses. Oh, poor cross. He's had a tough game. He hasn't enjoyed his normal play as he did when he comes on and he plays as a substitute, or he played last year. It was the first game of the season, and he's young. He's only 18 years old. And he's playing against a very good player who's just as quick as he is. Ball out of bounds, throwing to Newcastle just over the halfway line. We are watching the second to last Premier League game of the first round of games. Tomorrow, Fulham plays against Chelsea. Liverpool losing by 1-0 to Newcastle. Here comes Hall. He's really, really quick, dynamic. He goes inside to Miley coming forward. He had Barnes, delayed the play, took too long to make the pass. The pass should have been made the first time that he saw him. That 1 second, that 2 seconds can cost you. If he made it past the first time, Barnes would have been in and goal. He delayed it. Barnes had to check his run. Not able to get behind the defense. And Chelsea play Fulham tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Jamaica time. Here comes Gravenberg. Putting pressure on the defense, plays it out to Kirkes. Out to Wirtz inside. Plays down to Szoboszlai, headed out by Newcastle. Newcastle is a very athletic team. Able to get around the pitch really good. Frimpong wide to Engamon. Going to try to drive out Hall. He's probably going to try to get on the wing, which he goes back to Frimpong. It looks like he's going to cross. Good cross out. played out of bounds by D-Deck. Corner to Liverpool. I think Frimpong needs to put a little more air in his crosses, actually. He's too forward in the cross. He needs to lean back a little bit. Corner to Liverpool, dangerous corner. Headed out. That was dangerous. That could have gone anywhere. A lot of battling for those headers in the box. And Liverpool have Van Dijk in there who creates chaos. And he was creating chaos, pushing people around. Here we go again. 38 minutes in. Szoboszlai with a corner. It was a very good corner last time. This one is not as good. Poor didn't beat the first man. Frimpong plays it out wide to Wirtz. Looking to cross. He plays it inside to... Went inside to Gravenberg, who tried a cute pass. Ball played out, off a defender, collected by the keeper, Hornacek. We are in the 39 minutes of play. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 1. Here comes Newcastle as Wissa goes wide. Goes back to Lango, tried a cute pass, and that didn't work. Langa has it again. Goes back. Marley back to Hall. Out of bounds. Throw into Liverpool. I'm not sure why Hall let the ball go. Ball played by Newcastle. Throw into Liverpool. I think Newcastle making the best of the opportunities when they have the ball deep in Newcastle area. The pass is either too late or it's too casual. They're not taking the care needed to make the right pass. Bad turnover there by Newcastle, looking to shoot. A good block by Newcastle. That was a really bad turnover. Was that Botman or Thiaw who did that? Ball out of bounds of Gravenberg. Goal kick to Newcastle. When your defender's trying to pass out from the back, they got to make sure that pass is in the right place. Otherwise, those teams can come at you real, real quickly. So we're in the 41st minute of play. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0. I see Tuchel's at the game. Must be looking at Hall. I would assume and Miley also. Ball played up by Liverpool. Botman boots it upfield. Headed out by Liverpool. Wirtz with the ball. Plays out of bounds. Throw into Newcastle. Hasn't been what I call the smoothest game. A lot of unnecessary turnovers, actually. Here comes Newcastle. Newcastle now trying to spread the ball and spread Liverpool out. They did a good job of doing so. Liverpool trying to press, and ball booted wide, hit up by Frimpong. Picked up by Gravenberg with a brilliant touch. Wissa may be gone, you know. Wissa may be gone. Gravenberg turned. The referee said no, but Wissa is playing with fire. Gravenberg turned him. I think Gravenberg dived. That should have been a yellow card to Gravenberg. He dived. But Wissa got to be very careful. That was a dive by Gravenberg. If Wissa had gotten a second yellow card, they would have picked it up. Here comes Newcastle. Ball play across field to Langa. Bowled over by Gakpo. Free kick to Newcastle. And I think Langa felt the pain of that one. We have in the 43rd minute, Newcastle still leading by 1-0. Goal scored by Ilanga off an assist by Masala. Here comes Newcastle. Miley to Hall. Goes all the way back to Theo, who goes back to his keeper. He's going to go along trying to find Ilanga up wide. Ball headed up by Liverpool. Again, played up wide. Ilanga may be behind the defense. That's Wissa. I think Wissa committed a foul there. No, referee didn't call it. Ilanga has it. Tries a cross to the far post, headed out. Controlled by Wissa. Wissa shoots. Took a deflection off a Liverpool player, it looks like. Referee that says no. So a goal kick to Liverpool. I'm not sure what Wissa was doing there. A shot was never on. That's a poor. It's not a cross. It's not a shot. It's nothing. Here comes Liverpool. Really good turn by Isak, and he's fouled. Free kick to Liverpool. And that's by Tiao, we don't call him. Isak has not been in the game as much as one would like. He gets the ball a lot on the right side, not in the middle of the park, which is where he needs to be dangerous. When he played for Newcastle, he had the Guimaraes and Tonales and Joe Linton to feed him. I don't think he's getting that same level of service at Liverpool. So Van Dijk is up, pointing to a spot. Szoboszlai with a free kick. A dangerous free kick headed up by Newcastle. Picked up by Szoboszlai, throws it in quickly to Kerkez. Kerkez looking to go back to Szoboszlai, who's trying to cross. Very good cross, actually. Picked up by the goalkeeper. And Newcastle player is down. That looks like Botman. Botman is a big, strong man. One minute of added time, and we're in added time. Referee looks like he wants to blow his whistle. Ball headed out. Picked up by Frimpong. Tries to go long. Throw into Newcastle. Should be about halftime now, I would think. Hall taking his time to throw in. You only have 5 seconds after you get the ball to throw the ball in, so you got to do it quickly. And that's it. Halftime. The game between Newcastle and Liverpool. Liverpool leading, or losing by 1-0, I should say. They're not leading. They're losing by 1-0. I'm going to do my normal halftime break. I'll be back in a minute to talk you through the first half and expectation for the second half. I think Liverpool doesn't have a lot on their bench, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But it's the 1 minute halftime break. All right, people, we are back. We just had the first half of Liverpool versus Newcastle. Interesting game, given everyone expect that given Newcastle's changes this season, that they will be challenged. But they're giving Liverpool a run for their money. They're playing a lot of counter-attacking football, and Liverpool trying to play, or the traditional playing, through the lines, not getting enough from the wing play, actually. But trying to go through the middle with Gravenberg, Wirtz, and Szoboszlai, and that hasn't worked out brilliantly, to be honest. Now, let's see what the first half stats entail. I hope my stats show as well. Now, these stats may be a little bit different from what's in SofaScore, because they're different sources I got my stats from, but it should be pretty close. I can see possession, Liverpool is 55-45. What the SofaScore? I think SofaScore is like 53-47. 57-43. See, expected goals more for Liverpool than Newcastle. Newcastle scored. Shots more by Liverpool. Shots on target, Liverpool 2-1. Goalkeeper saves, only 2 by Newcastle, 1 by. And then passes, so nothing to talk about. Let me see what SofaScore in terms of big chances. And they have one big chance to, is that Newcastle? One big chance in Newcastle, which they put away. So pretty even stats, actually, if you think about it, in terms of possession, in terms of shots on target. Not materially different. Not materially different. But we'd expect that second half, Liverpool would up the tempo a little bit. I don't think they have pressured Newcastle as well as one would expect, given where the two teams are supposed to be. Now, Liverpool haven't made a lot of buys this year. I think they bought Munoz and they bought Jacket. But no one of prominence that you can say this is a differentiating buy. I know they're trying to get Barcola. And there's been a lot of discussion about that acquisition. I think they're trying to go for, is it Minter from Brighton? Who used to be at Newcastle. But given that they spent $450 last year, I'm sure there's a reluctance to go and spend, given SCR, no longer PSR, people. It's now SCR, squad cost ratio. It's no longer PSR as it was before in terms of acronyms. So squad cost ratio is You want to make sure you stay within the financial requirements of the league, which is you can't spend more than 85% of the revenues that you generate. And those costs entail player salaries, coaches' salaries. What else is in there? There are some operating costs, agent fees. There's about 5 or 6 items in there. And your revenues is your normal revenue stream, including, by the way, profit on player sales. So your revenues would be your sponsorship, your stadium fees you generate, money you get from the leagues, from being in Champions League, and if you're in Champions League and in the Premier League. So your traditional revenue sources is your denominator, and your numerator is your player salary, your agent fees, your coach's salary, which I was surprised that's in the numbers, actually. You can't spend 85% is a big number. I think in the NBA it's a lesser number, which just sort of guarantee profit for NBA owners. What are your thoughts so far, people, on the first week of games? I mean, we still have a game tomorrow between Chelsea and Fulham. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Jamaica time. But given that we had a long football season last year, between the regular season, international break, and the World Cup, a lot of players may find it difficult to get up to speed. And now, for Arsenal, the team that I support, people like Rice and Saka, they got to take their traditional breaks, and yet they came back. See, my players had their own individual workout programs because they came back and they both started in the last game. I was a little bit surprised. I thought they would probably come off the bench since they only played a couple of preseason games. But most of the players who played in the World Cup are now back with their teams and are playing. So should be very interesting in terms of how the season progresses, how those players hold up. But Liverpool, who, as I said before, a number of times, spent a lot of money last year, haven't spent a lot of money this year. And if you look at Liverpool's bench, who's on their bench? Their bench is a little bit woeful. Their bench has outfield player Tsimikas, Arroyo, who came over from Real Madrid, Endo has been there, McAllister, the Argentinian. And the rest of these players, I don't even know them. Nioni, McConnell, Munoz, and who came from Spain, and Kumas. It's not the most well-known bench. If you look at Arsenal's bench, you have a player like Eze was on the bench. Eze was on the bench last game. Gokares. I think Nwaneri was on the bench. There's a bunch of more known players was on Arsenal's bench. One player was not on Arsenal's bench is Martinelli, who Arsenal is trying to sell. But I'll say just one thing, people, which is very important, and I've said this numerous times on different shows. If you're a football player, your allegiance and your loyalty is to yourself and your family first. No team, no funds, no country. Sorry. Because when you can no longer play, or when they have no longer use for you, they just get rid of you like ragdoll. Look how Arsenal treated Martinelli. Leave him out the matchday squad twice, trying to force him to go to Turkey. He didn't want to go. And now they're trying to sell him for 45 million euros. That's stupid. Now they're probably going to get about 60 million from it, from Saudi Arabia. Yes. Europe is 70%, but 85% of the Premier League. So you probably should go more 70%. Well, 70% if you're in if you're in Europe, if you're in the Europa League, Champions League, or the other Bush League that they're playing in. So you're right. It is 70% in Europe and 85% in the Premier League. So if you're a Newcastle, for example, you're not playing and you don't really care. Well, you care because you carry over to the next year. But if you're a Newcastle, if you're a Hull, it probably give more benefit to the teams who don't have a lot of revenues, actually. Because say you make $10, that's $8.50 you're allowed to spend. But if you make $100, you can spend $85. That's the difference between a Hull and an Arsenal, or a Hull and a Man U, a Hull or a City, right? Say Hull generate $100, City generate, Hull generate $100, City generate $1,000. City can spend $850, Hull can spend $85. Even Hull at a billionaire owner would make a difference. It's really weird how They're now thinking about, given where the league is, they have moved on from this whole concept of administration and trying to protect the teams. Keep your same requirements for the EFL, but change it for the Premier League. If you can't afford the Premier League, some billionaire owner will come and buy you out. Okay. Haiti 2? Not surprising. So what is the issue, Wayne? If it's not the quality of the players, what's the issue? Is the lack of coaching or quality coaching? Wayne is mentioning that the Jamaica under-14 team is playing again in the Caribbean Cup final against Haiti. I think they beat Bermuda 1-0 the other day, and they to me, the scores were never impressive. They were winning 1-0 against teams that are beach countries like Bermuda or Curacao or Caymans or whatever their name they are. So if you're going to play a team like Haiti, which produce footballers like sand, it's going to be tough. Bless up, One Love. How you doing? Yeah, One Love. We're poised as a footballing team of Arsenal. We are poised to stamp our mark both in England and Europe. We have added some quality. And if we sell Martinelli for £60 million, you know we're going after Alvarez or Osimhen. That's a guarantee because Gokares didn't play the game against Coventry. Didn't get him a minute, which means he's gone. Now, I'm a little bit surprised they have him on the bench and Martinelli was not, but I guess they figure Eze can cover for Martinelli so they can afford to get rid of Martinelli. Eze got to watch himself. He may be the next to go because if he doesn't produce, even though he's a good goal scorer and you have Nwaneri behind him, we'll probably go out on loan. And Odegaard playing the way he is, he may be the next to go. They can get $50 million for you too also. So he's also getting up there in age. Yeah, but Wayne, I think coaching in Jamaica is a big problem. By the way, people, I'm going to do a program, as I mentioned before, on the idea of a possibly Nations League convergence between CONCACAF and UEFA. You guys should join me. I'll probably do a live show. That should be a really interesting conversation. Well, Haiti's just a better team, aren't they? One Love says both of them going. You're saying both Gokares and Martinelli going, yeah. Look, I feel for Martinelli. He doesn't want to leave. He loves Arsenal. He's been a great servant. He helped us win the league, even though he only scored 1 goal last year. It's tough when you love something and it's been taken away from you. But I'll say this about Martinelli. What he makes now, about 150? If he goes to Saudi, he quadruples his wages. I'm sure if he goes to Saudi, he's going to make about 300,000 a month, a week, I should say, I would think. And if you go to Saudi Arabia and you stay at England for a year plus, then you're no longer a resident, so you don't pay any taxes. I don't know what Brazilian tax law is, but I'd assume you're not going to pay any taxes. But in England, you pay 45% of your amount over 150, I think it is, or 149. So yeah, the game is back on. Liverpool in possession. Didn't see any changes. Here come Kirkes running around Elanga pressuring him. Referee didn't call a foul. Gakpo comes inside, looking to cross, decide not to. Goes back to Gravenberg, who plays good ball inside to Gakpo. Try to cross it. Out of bounds. Corner to Liverpool. Liverpool seem like they have renewed purpose. And I think Newcastle has to be careful to try to withstand this onslaught in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the second half. Because it will come. Not surprised. I think we're going to get Alvarez. I think he's going to come to Arsenal. Corner by Szoboszlai, headed up by, wow, that was close. That ball was at the far post. And here comes Newcastle. They have numbers. It's Elanga and Barnes wide. Barnes plays out Elanga. Elanga looking across. He beats his man brilliantly. And then he does what Elanga does, make a terrible decision, try to find Barnes. He beat his man. He was in the box. He had options. And that's the one thing that Solis from Arsenal does. When he gets in the box, 99% of the time he makes the right decision. Really bad decision by Elanga. They had the ability to go by there. Frimpong with a cross, headed out by Newcastle. Hall picks up, beats his man nicely, and turns it back. Goes to Langa, who goes to Miley, who goes. Newcastle is trying to play out. Thiaw plays it out to Didek, who's coming forward. Plays it inside to Wissa. Wissa plays it to Osala just a little bit too far. Osala goes back to Barnes. Barnes looking to cross. Ball does come across, comes back to Miley, who shoots over the bar. Poor pass by Wissa. Wissa just makes bad decisions so many times. He had a chance to play Nusula, and he just played it too far. And Liverpool almost scored. I'm surprised they didn't score that goal. Isak was there with, I think Jacket got in the way of Isak. He pushed Isak. Isak would have scored that, actually. I have no idea what Ilanga was doing on that play. He had an easy pass to make. He had an easy decision to make. He probably should go further down the wing and then cross it inside, and he tried to play it inside to Barnes that was never there. Then Issa Osula, he just had I don't know why Wissa think he has to pass the ball outside of his foot. You don't have enough control over that. He had an easy pass and turned it and played the ball too long to Osula. We're in the, let me start the second half. Liverpool in possession, trying to play out. Good pass, Liverpool player got behind Alanga. Good pressure again by Newcastle. Newcastle has a lot of legs, and they do pressure. Whistle got to run his man brilliantly and taking down. Referee said no foul. That looked like a foul to me. That looks like a foul. Here comes Liverpool. Ball played to Van Dijk. Plays it out of bounds, uncharacteristically off Van Dijk. Throw into Liverpool. And Garenberg seems to be hurting. You'll see this. He won the ball, actually. He had to go to the man, but he did win the ball. Yeah, that was a foul. He had to go to the man's right leg to get to the ball. That's a foul. Oh, they got Boadi? Interesting. I think he's a nice player, but he's no Rodri, that's for sure. He's a nice player, but he's not Rodri. 3-0. Hey, maybe that would give the JFF some reality check. Sorry to see the young boys losing, but that's a reality check for Jamaica. In 49 minutes. Not good. Here comes Liverpool. It's Frimpong. Scampering up the right. You have Ngamoa wide. He plays it wide to him. And Ngamoa makes a horrible 1-2 pass. He's had a horrible game. I know the kid is only 18, but he's had a tough game. He will not last much longer. I think Munoz is going to come on for him at some point. See Areola going to his notepad. Ngamoa can't play on the right. That's not his place, and he probably hasn't used to it. He needs to go back on the left. They probably should switch him on Gakpo before they take him off, but they probably will take him off. Throw into Liverpool. We're in the 51st minute of play. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 0. Foul against Newcastle. Free kick to Liverpool, just about the halfway line. Kirk, this is Wirtz. It plays it inside to Kirkes, who plays it to Gakpo, looking to shoot. Winds up, shoots, just over the bar. Not a bad shot by Gakpo. Good combination by Liverpool. Kirkes inside the Gakpo, faked the shot. He got his man out the way, but then shot over the bar. Areola looks frustrated. The new Liverpool coach, he looks a little bit frustrated. Throw into Newcastle at the halfway line. Ball play all the way back to Botman. Out to Tia. Let's go long. No, goes back to his keeper on a sec. On a sec goes across field to Botman. Newcastle now trying to play out from the back. And I'll have some room. Botman then turns the ball over with no pressure. Horrible turnover. Newcastle just covering up the space, not really pressuring Liverpool. I think they're starting their defense at about the halfway line, or just over the halfway line. Good turn by Wirtz. A good pass inside to Gravenberg, who's trying to go at goal. He plays it wide to Frimpong, who crosses brilliantly. But went to the penalty spot, which where it should go. No one there. Liverpool come forward again. Szoboszlai looking to go back to Gravenberg. Oh, what a goal by Gakpo. By Gakpo, what a goal. Picked the ball up 35 yards out. Laced it. He had no pressure. Brilliant goal. Keeper had no chance. It's got to be out 30 yards in. Keeper had zero chance. You can't have somebody outside your 18-yard line. It's probably about 25 yards out, and nobody's pressuring him. He had all day to shoot. Liverpool, and look at Botman backing up. You got to go to the man. If you go to the man, you're cutting down the angle. If you back up, you're telling him to shoot. That was poor defending. Poor defending. Why defenders want to put their hand behind their back and back up versus put your hand behind their back and run forward? Then you can more block the shot. So 2 changes for Newcastle. You see Ramsey and Willock. For Stir and for Usula. Newcastle making 2 changes. So I guess maybe Wissa is going to play up front, I assume. You see the substitutions. I haven't seen Liverpool making a substitution yet, so I think they've ever realized that in the middle of the park, they're lacking, they need some more legs. So he's gone with a traditional midfield 3. Because Wissa does get lost sometimes up there. Here comes Frimpong, plays it inside to Ngamoa on a shoot. That was close. Newcastle now really scrambling. They're under a lot of pressure. Liverpool is applying the pressure. As I said at the outset, they have to try to survive the first 5-10 minutes, and they're not doing the best job so far. Now, they have some midfield help, so we'll see what happens. Liverpool play the ball down the line to Wirtz. Wirtz plays it back. to Ngamar. He's coming forward looking, trying to find Gakpo. Shot by Gravenberg. Picked up again by Gakpo. Here comes Wissa. Brilliant turn by Wissa to get rid of two men. He's coming forward. He has Ilanga out wide. Ilanga comes inside, shoots. Goal! Brilliant, brilliant goal. Goal! Newcastle. What a break. And Ilanga does it again. What a break. What brilliant play by Wissa. That was awesome by Wissa. In terms of being able to get rid of two men, and then be able to get the ball through to Ilanga, who put in the far corner. Brilliant, brilliant goal. Brilliant, brilliant goal. Wow. Brilliant goal. What a break. Liverpool was trying to get, were on the edge of the 18. Wissa turned three men behind him. They couldn't keep up. And then he found Ilanga, not the best pass. And Ilanga took it brilliantly. Brilliantly. He just went far post, right out of Alisson's reach. Alisson had no chance. I'm sorry, that's Willock. That's Willock, not Ilanga. That was Willock, sorry. I apologize. I thought that was Ilanga giving the speed, but Willock, who just came on. Brilliant goal by Willock. He just came on the field. I thought it was Ilanga. Well, fast Willock was running. Wow. You remember Willock played for Newcastle and scored about, 12 goals in like 12 straight games or something? Here comes Hall. He goes wide to Barnes, turnover. Here comes Newcastle. And Gamoa foul, free kick to Newcastle. What a goal by Willock, though. He got it out of his feet real well. Here comes Liverpool again. It's Wirtz. But inside the Gakpo, turns it over. Picked up by Mallet to Ramsey. Ramsey trying to go by his man. Does a good job to Barnes, who's trying to get by. Really difficult decision. Not a smart decision there. Turns it over. Ball to Wirtz. Wirtz have Gakpo wide. Gakpo is going to try to go inside. Don't let him go inside. He try to play it inside. Go back to Kirkes. Kirkes go down the line trying to cross. He does cross. Brilliant cross. Played out by Ramsey. Picked up by Gakpo again. Trying to go for a corner. Wide, high and wide. 4-0 after 58 minutes. That's embarrassing. Wow. They have 12 more minutes of hell. That's two brilliant counter-attacking goals by Newcastle. That's how they're going to play this season. They have athleticism. They have speed. Ilanga scored the first one, and now Willock scored the second. I thought Ilanga was the one who was there, but it was Willock. Here comes Liverpool again. Jacket trying to play through two people. And referee, what's referee calling? Is it a foul? Not sure what he's calling. Willock is saying it's a handball, but then that's a really good goal by Willock. Liverpool have a fight on their hands. Here comes Ramsey. Ramsey plays it out to Ilanga. Ilanga goes back inside to Willock. Willock goes wide to Hall. There's D-Deck is wide and open. Ball play into Ilanga, who crosses to nobody. That's the thing about Ilanga. It doesn't make good decisions. There's nobody in the middle. You got to put your head up and see what's there. You don't just cross the ball like a madman. Hopeful. You got to look first when you cross it. He has speed and he has some ability, but decision making kills him. Did McAllister come on for Liverpool? It looks like it. And who was off? I got to see that. Yeah, McAllister is on. Liverpool trying some neat 1-2. Here comes Newcastle. Ball played out to Ilanga. trying to run by 3 men. He does do a good job. He has a chance to go by, but good defending there by Van Dijk. Van Dijk has played well. Good pressure there by Barnes on Frimpong. Ball out of bounds. Throw into Liverpool. McAllister is coming on, and so is Victor Munoz. So Liverpool making 2 subs. I'm not surprised they're taking out Ngomoa. He's had a tough game. Ngomoa, and who else is off? Is that Kirkes? Ngomoa and McAllister and Wirtz. Wirtz is off. I don't know how Wirtz gets so much game time, to be honest. I don't know how Wirtz gets so much game time. Because he probably need to go back to Germany. He hasn't hit the ground running. It's going to be tough for Liverpool to come back. Because Newcastle playing with a lot of energy. If you just join us, we're in the 64th minute of play. Newcastle leading Liverpool by 2-1. Goals scored by Elanga and Willock. Great play there by Liverpool. Referee called a foul and it's a yellow card. I'm not sure it was a yellow card too. He called it back. I'm not sure the yellow card is to Ramsey. Let's see what happened. Ball played inside. Brilliant turn. Ramsey took out, not sure who he took out. Yeah, he took out Isak. Not a good tackle by Ramsey. That's a yellow card to Ramsey. Free kick to Liverpool. About 7-8 yards outside the 18-yard. Okay, so if they're playing well as a team, Wayne Thompson, how are they getting 4? Or they can keep the ball, but they can't score. What is it? Let's see what Szoboszlai does. Probably going to try to go far post to Van Dijk. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to cook far post. Ball got to Van Dijk, but straight to keeper Hornacek. Hornacek throws it out to Hall. Out of bounds. Throw into Liverpool. Bad distribution there by Hornacek. Newcastle now pressuring. And good defending there by Newcastle. But Liverpool comes away with it. And he's in on goal. Good cut back there by Isak, but he had 2 people tracking him. Was able to recover. Was that Isak or Gakpo? I think it was Gakpo, actually. Here comes Liverpool again. Liverpool putting on the pressure. They're trying to get that second goal. Here comes Munoz. Crosses. Try to cross. He's against Hall, who's a very good defender. Ball crossing the box. Kicked by Isak, picked up by Wissa. Here comes Wissa. He's gone by 1. It's Wissa running at the defense, trying to find Elanga. He does. Elanga had a chance to go back to him right away and didn't. Elanga hesitated, which he normally does, and just make a bad decision. He had Wissa open to go in on goal, and he stopped the play. Here comes Ramsey. Goes across field to Barnes. Barnes does Willock wide. Barnes come back to Ramsey. Ramsey's going to go wide to Willock. Willock looking to cross. Goes back to Ramsey. Ramsey outside to Hall. Hall back to Ramsey. Ramsey, they're going all the way back now. And ball played inside, brilliant to the Hall. Hall has options. He crosses. And Wissa misses the open goal. Wissa is brilliant at missing open goals. All he had to do was tap the ball in the goal. I have no idea what he was doing. Just to kick the ball in the goal. Brilliant move there by Hall, Ramsey, and Willock. And Wissa had a chance to score. I'm not sure what he was doing. Here comes Newcastle again. Ilanga has it. Looking to shoot. Go far post. Save by Allison. Why Wissa didn't kick the ball in the goal is beyond me. It's a ball play in the Hall. Wissa is there. And he missed it. He just missed the ball. It reminds me when he played against England when he had a wide open goal and he tried to just touch the ball in the goal and he missed it. The entire ball. That's hard to do. Even though it came with some pace. That should have been 3-1. I'm looking at a replay of Ilanga just to play Wissa in and he delayed the play. Early in the play. But Wissa had a chance to just put the game away and he didn't. That was an easy tap in for Wissa and he missed that. Here comes Liverpool. Frimpong. Go back to Munoz. Gakpo in the box along with Sabassalai. Liverpool have about 3 players in the box. Ball crossed in. Head up at Newcastle. Oh, wow. Isak had the ball at the top of the key and just had to have some composure. Shot over the bar. Ball headed out. And Isak, in fact, if Isak faked the shot and put it on his right foot, he'd be in a better position. He had to hit the target on that. It's poor. Ilanga having work up flash with that left-footed attempt he made earlier. Here comes Miley coming forward. Down the line to Ilanga. Ilanga against Kirkes. Plays it inside. Ball back to Ilanga. Ilanga turns in the box. Goes back to Willock, who tried to cross it. Out of bounds. Corner to Newcastle. Another substitution by Liverpool. They're bringing in Arroyo. I assume it's for Jacket. Has to be. Yep. Jacket is off. That was a shot by Ramsey of the corner, out of bounds. Goal kick to Liverpool. Here comes Newcastle again. Willock trying to go forward. He fouled McAllister, who threw him to the ground. Willock is down. Not sure what's happening. It's Willock's goal that allows Newcastle to be leading by 2-1 at this point. Here comes Liverpool. Frimpong. All the way back to Arroyo to Van Dijk. Coming forward. Back to Arroyo. He came from Barcelona. He's on a loan, I guess, with probably an obligation or an option to buy. I would assume it's an option. Ball out of bounds, throw into Newcastle. We're in the 71st minute. Newcastle leading by 2-1. Goals scored by Ilanga and by Willock. And both goals assisted by the center forward for Newcastle. First by Osula and by Wissa. Going to Newcastle, 72nd minute. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Here comes Ramsey, plays it wide out to Hall. Good switch. Now, where is Barnes? Barnes should be over there someplace. Don't see Barnes any place in sight. Now, Barnes come to get it. Ball play back to Ramsey. Ramsey making himself available. Turns brilliantly. Goes back to Hall. Hall down the line to Barnes. Barnes inside to Hall. Hall is now free. Plays it wide to try to find Willock. Turns over. Need more pace on that pass. Good pressure by Newcastle, but Liverpool break out of it. And they have numbers. Munoz coming, going vigorously. He's in the middle. He has decisions to make. Szoboszlai taking out Kirk's far post, just outside the reach of Isak. They had a chance to do something in that play. Bad turnover. Munoz did a really good job coming inside. Played the ball to Szoboszlai, who got taken out by D-Deck. Ball played to Kirkes. He tried to go far post, trying to find Isak, who was wide open. Just overhit the pass. 73rd minute. Liverpool still losing by 2-1. And Ramsey got to be careful because he's on a yellow card. Here comes Liverpool again. The middle is open. I think the midfielders are playing too high for. They're playing too high for Newcastle. They got to be more balanced in the middle. They're trying to pressure too high and then turn the ball over. Here comes Liverpool again. So Liverpool just coming forward in droves, attack after attack. When Newcastle need to just settle down, regroup, and try to hit them on the counter. Liverpool in possession, just on the middle of their own half, of the Newcastle half, sorry. Arroyo coming forward, goes wide to Frimpong. Frimpong plays it out to Munoz, who's rubbing the touchline, looking across. He's going to go back inside. I thought he was going to go to Frimpong, decided not to. Go back to Frimpong. Frimpong looking to play a 1-2 and go behind. That was very obvious. Well covered by Hall for Newcastle. Munoz coming inside, he's in the box. Tries a cute pass into Frimpong, but overhit it. You need a subtle touch on that pass by Victor Munoz. Look like Murphy will come on for Newcastle, maybe at the expense of Barnes or Langa. I would assume he plays on the right, so maybe Murphy, but maybe Langa, but we'll see. I think Barnes has been out of the game for the last bit. Here comes Wissa. Wissa has it. Yeah, Szoboszlai in front of him. It's a foul against Szoboszlai. Free kick to Newcastle. Wissa's played well. Missed an open goal and made up for a couple of bad decisions, but he's played well. His speed has been a bother for Liverpool all game. It wasn't much of a foul did by Szoboszlai, but he touched him and he went down. If you're just joining us, we're in the 75th minute, or 76th minute, I should say. It looks like it's 2 changes by Newcastle, actually. Langa coming out. And it looked like it may be what's coming in? Bamba is coming in. Newcastle in possession again. Coming forward. Which has been a menace all game. Liverpool in possession, 77th minute. Now we're in the 77th minute. Newcastle still up by 2-1. They have 30 minutes to hold out to get the 3 points. Here comes Liverpool. Bring Pong to Gravenberg, Szoboszlai. Good defending by Newcastle, but Liverpool still retain possession. Gravenberg coming forward. It beats one. Bring Pong trying to cross. Had the ball in, shot by Munoz. Ball out of bounds, throw into Liverpool. Liverpool asking for a handball, but I'm not sure it was. Yeah, his hand was at his side. He was trying to put his hand up. But you never know nowadays when it comes to handball. Arroyo with the throw. Looks like it's going to be a long throw. And Liverpool make another change. Gravenberg coming out. And Kuman's coming in. Throw into Liverpool. Ball headed out. Here comes Newcastle. And ball picked up by Willock. And it's a foul against Liverpool. Against Newcastle, sorry. Players seem to be in a lot of pain. Foul committed by Murphy. And yellow card against Murphy. Yeah, I think that was fake. I'm not sure. McAllister really got as kick as bad as he's rolling around as if he's going to be dying. So Murphy just came on the field and have a foul already. This is Szoboszlai's range, actually. It's about 10 yards outside the 18, so about a 26, 27, 28 yarder. Just in his wheelhouse. Oh, I hope this keeper realized that Szoboszlai has that in his repertoire. Oh, Ornisek realized this. And he just got to go. He's going to try to go over the wall. Wall blocks it. Keeper comes, hesitated. Newcastle try to play it out. Block. It's foul against Newcastle. I think it's a foul against Hall. Free kick to Newcastle. Foul against Barnes, I should say. By Arroyo. It wasn't much of a foul. He barely touched him. Barnes just fell over. So Newcastle has about 10 minutes plus added time to haul out for this victory. I would say overall, in terms of run of play, Liverpool has been the overall better team, but Newcastle has had a chance to put the game away. If Wissa touched that ball, then it'd be all over. Here comes Newcastle. Willock plays all the way back. Theo goes back to his goalkeeper. Szoboszlai and Ornisek goes long. He's probably going to find Wissa. Wissa is wide open, wide. And say it's offside. I don't see where Wissa was offside. Maybe the other player was offside who was out there, but he didn't play the ball. I think it's a bad call by the linesman. I think Newcastle just needs to start their defense at the halfway line. They're trying to pressure in the middle of the Liverpool half. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Here comes Van Dijk. Kirkes inside to Gakpo. Gakpo trying to go back to Kirkes, but plays out of bounds, throw into Newcastle. Liverpool not feeling the pressure. They're down 2-1 in the 82nd minute to a Newcastle team that's very sturdy defensively, and counter-attacking is really something else. They really have a lot of speed up front. If they could just make some better decisions in the final third, they could have been out of sight in this game. Oh, okay. I thought the Jamaica team actually do spend time together at the National Academy, don't they? I see Kenny got Dalglish at the game. That was part of the celebration to honor our tribute to Keegan. Here comes Newcastle. Ball played over the top. Poor pass by Barnes, it looks like. And here comes Frimpong. And they have numbers. Frimpong. Barnes is back. Munoz against Hall. Trying to beat Hall. Hall is a brilliant defender. I'm surprised England didn't take Hall to the World Cup. Hall is a brilliant defender, people. Brilliant defender. We may have to go buy him. Do we need him? No, we got Calafiori and Incapi. Hall is a brilliant defender. That's why Manu wants him. Really good defender. He has been beaten once by Ngamoa, who's very, very skillful. Norm Munoz, who's just coming to the game. Newcastle, it says, unbeaten their last 4 season opener, so good for them. 83rd minute, Liverpool 1, Newcastle 2. Newcastle waiting too long to engage the player with the ball. Look at Szoboszlai have all day to cross the ball to Kirkes. Taking too long to engage the player with the ball. Gakpo comes inside, has options. Now it's closed down. Kirkes back to Gakpo. Gakpo goes back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk goes across field to Arroyo. Arroyo coming forward, yes. Szoboszlai goes back to Arroyo. Goes back to Szoboszlai. Plays across field to Van Dijk, to Kirkes. Trying the 1-2 with Gakpo. D-Deck reads it and covers. Van Dijk back to Arroyo, goes across field. Szoboszlai. Liverpool just probing, looking to see where's any gaps to exploit. Here comes Frimpong. Goes by, good cross by Frimpong. Just a little bit too high. Gakpo couldn't get over it. Collected by Hornacek. You just joined us. We're in the 85th minute of play. Liverpool versus Newcastle. Newcastle winning by 2-1. And look like Whistler's going to play the entire game. He's been running all game. Ball out of bounds, throw into Newcastle. Poor decision there. Was that Arroyo trying a long pass? Or was that Gravenberg? Couldn't tell. Gravenberg's on the bench. McAllister is in. Ngamoa, Wirtz, and Gravenberg all on the bench. Szoboszlai is in. McAllister is in. So he's trying to go more offensive. Here comes Wissa. He's in on goal. And he missed. He just had to chip the ball over Alisson. Why does Wissa do that? Wissa's decision making is just bad sometimes. And here comes Munoz. Wissa just had to chip that ball, just put some height on the ball. Like he wants to go through Alisson. That's poor by Wissa. Wissa gets a lot of chances. He makes them because of his speed, but he's got to be more clinical in front of goal. That's his second sitter. He got it and put it away. Could have put this game away. Here comes Liverpool. We're in the 86th minute. They're down by 2-1. They need to score, so they have to push men up the field. So Wissa would be always going to be able to get behind, but he's got to put those goals away. Gakpo trying to go far post. Fouled by Munoz. Goal, free kick to Newcastle. Wissa has to score that goal. Just chip the ball up. Don't try to go that flat. Now, the bounce wasn't great for him when he was trying to go through and goal, but he's got to just chip the ball up. Newcastle coaches look a little bit nervous. So Whisper goes in goal. He just had to chip it up. He's trying to go. He just had to chip the ball. That's all. Not sure what he was trying to do. Wissa is quick. Man, he's quick. His 2 first steps are ridiculous. Newcastle now pressuring Liverpool. Comes Gakpo, turns it over, but the ball goes back to Munoz. Brilliant ball over the top, trying to find Kirkos, who's taken out of bounds by Tiao. 87th minute, and Liverpool pressing for that goal, but Newcastle holding on. Newcastle should have scored 4 already. I mean, Wissa has 2 sitters and didn't put away either of them. Here comes Liverpool again. Good turn there by, is it Munoz? Good play by Hall. Win the ball back. Goes back inside to Ramsey. Ramsey to Botman, who gets out of his life. Clears it. That goes back to Liverpool. Here comes Szoboszlai. He turns it over. Ramsey has it. He goes wide to Willock. Willock against Frimpong. Willock goes inside. Plays it inside to that Barnes. Barnes outside to Murphy. Murphy looking to go down the wing against Kirkes and then cross. He crosses a cross goal. No one is there. No one is there. That's a tap-in. And Newcastle players need to know that's what Murphy does. He's going to put the ball across, and Liverpool and Willock was on his heels. That's a brilliant cross. Just needed somebody to tap it in. No one is there. You have to be running in on goal if you're Willock. Newcastle flying into tackles. The referee just playing on. Ball play all the way back to Hornacek. We're in 89th minute of play. Newcastle still leading by 2-1. They've had so many chances to up that lead. Haven't done so. Here comes Newcastle. Ball picked up by Willock. Looking for Barnes. Barnes has it. Shoots. Blocked by Liverpool. Picks up by Wissa. Ball out of bounds. Throw into Newcastle. And the referee is stopping play when if there's a handball or something. I'm sure that's why he's checking. Look like D-Deck is having some problems. A yellow card, referee giving out to who? He's going in his pocket. Who gets that yellow? I don't see the extra time that we're playing. I don't see that number go up on the board yet. Five minutes of extra time. So Liverpool need to score 1 or 2 goals in the next 5 minutes. Poor throw by Newcastle, and ball comes out to really poor by Newcastle. They put pressure on themselves. Here comes Munoz trying to take on Tiao. Goes wide. Look to shoot. Block out of bounds. Corner to. I don't know how teams put themselves under pressure. You have a throw in deep in the opponent's half and you throw the ball away. So now you give Liverpool a chance to tie the score. That wasn't smart play. You got to throw the ball down the line so it gets to the corner flag, especially in extra time. You can't throw the ball up the field, going the other direction. You put yourself under pressure. Now you have Van Dijk in the middle there with Isak and all these tall players for Liverpool. So Szoboszlai with a really good corner, punched out by Hornacek. Good punch out. Come to Frimpong. Frimpong looking to go around his man. Does, shoots, blocked. And here comes Newcastle. Ball out of bounds by Murphy. Throw into Liverpool. We have 3.5 minutes remaining. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Here comes Liverpool. It's Kirkes. Plays it in to Szoboszlai, who goes wide to Gakpo. Gakpo has his man Didek isolated. He goes inside. Szoboszlai, don't let him shoot. Goes back to Gakpo. Liverpool have 4 men in the middle. Gakpo looking across. He does. Headed up by Newcastle. Ball played back to Kirkes. Kirkes to Szoboszlai, who's coming forward. Plays it wide to Gakpo. Gakpo has his man one-on-one. Trying to go down the line. Brilliant defending. Got fouled. Brilliant defending by Didek. Set him up. Let him go down the line and then stepped in front of him. We're in the 93rd minute and Newcastle look like they may hang on for this victory. They should be up by more. Brilliant defending. Those two defenders, Didek on one side and Hall on the other side, have been exceptional for Newcastle. I don't think they've been really beaten this entire game by Gakpo and Gamoa or Munoz. Really good defending by Newcastle. And the one goal they gave up was a really good goal by Gakpo. On the sec with a long kick out. Poor kick out, actually. He need to put some more height on his balls. They're too flat. So he give his forwards no chance to flick on. Here comes Frimpong. Plays it to Szoboszlai, who's gone deep. Wissa needs to put some pressure on him. Put some pressure on the pass. No pressure on the pass. He's over the halfway line. Coming deeper. He goes back inside to McAllister. McAllister, Szoboszlai to Kirkes. Kirkes plays it wide out to Gakpo. Gakpo trying to go by Murphy. Goes in the box. Cross for a post. Headed out by Willock. Pressure on McAllister. Ball out to Frimpong. Frimpong trying to go on the wing and cross. He goes inside. Go outside. Cross again inside. And look like he turns it over. The referee going to call a foul against Frimpong. Frimpong is saying no. But foul against him. Good. Again, Hall is defending brilliantly. Brilliantly. And Newcastle making a change. Shear coming on. Who's he coming on for? Probably take off a midfielder and put on another center back. He's coming on for Wissa. So they're going defensive for the last minute of play. I would still keep Wissa on to force the defense to play straight up. It's less than a minute remaining. This game would at least, it can only be a tie. Liverpool can't win this game, so. Good run by Wissa, but he should have scored at least 2 goals today. Ball played up by Ornisek, way upfield, out of bounds, throw into Liverpool. I don't think they should play more than 5 minutes because the 5 minutes are up. Let's see how long the referee's going to play. He's not looking at his watch, so he's getting them more time. Kirkes trying to go along. Headed up by Newcastle. Munoz taken down in the box. Is that a penalty? Penalty. Unbelievable penalty. How you get a penalty in the last second of the game? That's a horrible penalty to give. That's a penalty. How you can make a penalty? Let's see what VAR says. Hall say I didn't touch him. Let's see what happened. Munoz is in the box. Oh, that's not a penalty. Oh, that's not even close to being a penalty. That's not a penalty. No, VAR will change that. That's not a penalty. You didn't touch him. That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. That's not even close. That's not a penalty. Let's see. That's not a penalty. He moved his knee, but that's not a penalty. No, it's not a penalty. His knee touched him, but that's not a penalty. If it's a penalty, that's soft. I know VAR is supposed to be light touch this year, but that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. Not to me. He moved his knee got hit him. That's not a penalty. And Newcastle players are losing their minds. Newcastle player and coach are losing their minds. That's not a penalty. No way, Jose. I know what the referee is doing. That's not a penalty. No. Not. And this is the English Premier League. This is not the I fall over league because I got touched. That's not a penalty. Not in my book. And let's see what VAR says. I think VAR may have said it's a penalty. That's not a penalty. I'm sorry. Let's see what VAR says. He's not even taking him to the monitor. Wow. You cannot tell me that's a penalty. The whole bench for Newcastle is up because they don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it is either. That's beyond soft. And the referee hasn't done anything yet. I think they're like going to give it. I don't see him taking to the monitor to look, so I don't think that's a penalty. That's crazy. They got a penalty of that? How's that a penalty? Yeah, he did move his knee, but the player ran into his knee. Are we for real? So you're bailing out Liverpool now? That's not a penalty, people. Not in any way, shape, or form. Sorry. That's bad. And Newcastle shouldn't get in that situation anyway. He's going to score it. He's a brilliant penalty taker. That's not a penalty, though. You can't convince me that's a penalty. Wow. That's a tough draw for Newcastle and a bailout for Liverpool. I'm surprised VAR says that's a penalty. Seriously. Yeah, he scored it. We know he's expecting to score. That's not a penalty. Sorry. That's horrible. No way in you know what that's a penalty. Yeah, Hall did move his knee a little bit, but it's not a penalty. Come on. They had the game. They should not be turning the ball over there. And the coach, I'm sure Newcastle is puzzled as to how that was a penalty. So Barcelona is not going to miss. It wasn't even close. Keeper wasn't even close to it. That's an unfair penalty, people. That's a bailout. And Harlow's had a brilliant game. Gave that away. I don't think it was a penalty, though. The ref blows it off. It was the last kick of the game. All right, people. I don't like to see injustice done. I think that was injustice. That's not a penalty. Last play of the game. The referee, he should have been done at 5 minutes anyway. It was actually at 5 minutes, but that's how it goes. Bad luck to Newcastle and lucky to Liverpool. They should have lost this game by 5-3, I would say. No, must win. That must win. Was that a penalty? Must win. I'm curious to hear your view. Was that a penalty? If that was given against Liverpool fans would be losing their minds. There's no way that's a penalty in any way, shape, or form. In any game, in any city, in any league, it's not a penalty. And I think Liverpool coaching staff look at the tape and says. They were all happy on the sideline, say it's not a penalty. So what is VAR doing? I know VAR is supposed to be light touch, and I know it's probably subjective, but that can't be a penalty, people. If we're going to give those a penalty, we should stop doing the football thing. Seriously. That can't be a penalty. Anyway. I would say this, people. It's been a good weekend of football. We still have one game tomorrow, Chelsea, Fulham. That's a good game. And that game is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Jamaica time. So not sure I'm going to do that game tomorrow. In fact, I'm not going to do that game tomorrow. I'm on the road tomorrow. But thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. Keep on supporting the channel. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe to the channel and share the channel. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Tough luck, Newcastle. Peace out.